Hello. Bitrate seems normal. That's decent. Let's paste it on the Discord. Control V, notice. Boop. And the last stream was the 12th, which was a Sunday, right? I'm kind of a little bit late, you could say, but nothing too crazy. And I'm just going to start by reviewing my week, as I usually do, and then after reviewing my week, I'll talk a little bit. I've called it utopically, about the classic things of like, I guess it's related to dream life or something like this, but it's more kind of thinking about utopia or something like this. Both how do I think it would go and how, okay, it lost some bit rates. Okay, so utopia or something. I mentioned utopia, so how I think it would go and what I would do in case of utopia, that kind of thing. I'm not sure if it's working or not. I feel like I have a lot of frame drops. Maybe I should go get my phone and try to stream on my phone or something. But I think the problem is that it's loading Google Photos, so when it loads, it buffers. I try to keep moving my hands all the time so that I can tell more or less, or that so you at least can tell what's going on with the thing. And okay, I think more or less we're back, right? I have to do this fucking thing of like scrolling, it loads, then it stops loading, then blah. Ta-da! Okay, so I can start talking about my week. So last week, starting on Monday, last Sunday, I streamed. Afterwards, I guess I don't have a lot to take away. I just have a picture of this streaming setup or whatever. So yeah. Then what did I do on Monday? I had a shift. I could look up which shift it was. It's Monday the 13th. Here it is. So on Monday I had a shift, and this week I had Monday, Friday, and not Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I had Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, I wore the same outfit basically every day, the same jeans, some jeans that I brought from Spain, the Desigual they were called. And yeah, they were, I guess, my first shifts after vacation. So that was interesting. Coming back, I forgot who I had as a teacher or trainer. It was a new guy. He was called, he was a Croatian guy, like who had come to Germany like pretty soon, but he still spoke Croatian and all this. It was interesting, more or less nice guy. I wouldn't call it like the best trainer in the sense that he wasn't telling a lot, but he was good in the sense that he let me drive in this case, and he also let me early out. So I guess one could see that as good, one could see that as bad. In my case, I consider that, I don't know, good. The vibes were kind of maybe a little bit like, I don't know, he wasn't super interested in spending like mega a lot of time on this, but it was true that it was, I guess, more the fact that I'm just alone instead of being in pairs with some other people and that, and also the fact that, yeah, that you could tell that I was more tired on something like this, right, and that I would make more mistakes. But yeah, he was pretty nice to have around. The problem is that he smoked, so that's annoying, but aside from that, it was decent. Then, yeah, that day I did the S8, which was kind of new, I guess. Monday, I have some Flughafen, a little bit of S2, then S1, then S8, and after that, coming back, I was let go. Well, I was let go. He let me come home, basically. After a cast part, basically, which took a little bit longer than expected. So I guess I didn't drag the S8 myself, rather I got driven in it. Some pictures in case you want to see. Warum nicht? A picture that I took in this Gastfahrt when I was alone by myself in this cockpit. Then, the next day, I ate tuna, which is interesting. This day, I had another shift, and I also was let go a little bit early, so I think at 8 p.m. or something I was already at home. This day there was a strike, MVG strike, and that was why I went to Gissing and had Duna. It was a nice place, it's called Django Duna. Yeah, it was pretty good. If you let it load, I will lose frames, but then you will see that through it. We're back. So now it's loaded, the stream is back again, and you can see the donut. It's fucking hilarious that I have to, for loading an image, a JPG image of like 3 megabytes, the stream cuts out. It's fucking insane. But, yeah. Then, Wednesday, should I tweet my link? Have I put it on Discord, by the way? I think I did, right? I'm going to tweet it, why not? And yeah, did I talk about Tuesday? Yes, I ate this donut that I showed. Okay. Then it was a pretty short day, basically, only 3 Fahrten. This is our shift lab. I'm not sure how much I can show, but I don't think anyone cares, so whatever. These are like 3 like S1, S2, and then this is pause. So basically, I had like a couple of short farts and then farts. Kurze Fahrten, also short trips, not farts. And then I went home. He let me go home early, and I skipped like the other half which to be fair, there was like quite a bit of gaps. So I think he was nice by letting me not do the thing all the time, right? Not be there all the time. Then I came home and probably stayed at the PC a long time. On Wednesday, I had the Baureihe 24, so the old train. Wait, that day is the day that I showed. That's Mittwoch. Tuesday I had a little bit more things to do. I still was let go a little bit early, but I had like comparatively like 4 trips instead of like the 3 on Wednesday. Wednesday was cool, was more chill. It was like going to Petershausen, then going to Alto Münster, then going back, then going again to Alto Münster, so then going back or whatever. So that's pretty chill. And yeah, with the old vehicle, and then I came home at like 8 p.m. or something like this. I probably ate at home. I don't have a picture of what I ate. Lately, I haven't been taking out of pictures of what I eat. I don't know why. I guess because I feel like they are like improvised or whatever. They're like 2 meals that are super improvised. I'm not like proud of what I'm cooking or whatever, but it's still fine. I don't know. Hello, by the way, I'm talking about my week, the past week. Today, I'm focusing on, well, not focusing. I've talked about Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which are the days where I had shift. Then we're going into Thursday. On Thursday, I had a free day, so I went to Ingolstadt. Weird thing for me to do, going out of my way or whatever, and I went to Ingolstadt, and yeah, I showed. Let me load the page. Ta-da! Okay. The train has loaded, the picture has loaded, and yeah, we can see that I took the RB16 to Truttlingen. It was around midday, noon. And I hadn't eaten, so I was going on an empty stomach. And I was planning to eat over there. And I did do that. A couple of pictures in the train. A place called WAC Group. We're back to WAC Group. WAC Group called, they're hiring, and they're looking for you. Just kidding. Just a little joke that I already tweeted, I think. But yeah, that's what was going on. Then I took the bus. I got out at station Ingolstadt Audi, which is the station from the factory. Ingolstadt has like this Audi factory. So basically, there is still like a station basically that's basically for them. I guess mainly for traffic, for like cargo traffic, but also they have like passengers and for the factory employees or whatever. And I got down there and I took a bus. And the bus was passing through the factory, which was interesting. Then I ate some kebab. This was my look. Then this was me with the kebab. I wear gloves usually when I'm eating outside, and like if I remember to bring them, and I'm eating like messy food like kebab, I prefer to bring gloves. This was the look that I was wearing that day. And this was the museum, basically. I took pictures of that car, but it's good to also see the situation. This was the outside, a Wally Quattro exposed over there. Then there was this woman who was buying an Audi, so I thought it was interesting to also take pictures of this yellow Audi, but I was mainly interested in like this girl who was getting a brand new Audi, and while it was a little bit creepy to like take a picture of her or whatever, I don't know, I was like, yeah, because she was like wearing this kind of like leggings or I don't know, like it was feeling like a little bit of a special outfit, you know. So it was like, she's probably like excited to get a new car or something. Yeah, basically, so she's like excited to get a new car, and it was interesting. So this girl and her parents, I assume, were taking pictures. And then inside the museum, I took a lot of pictures. So I guess I could do this, just show it, because I'm not going to zoom in anything in particular. Hello, is it working? Is it working? Okay, I think it's working. I took a lot of pictures of bikes because I thought I saw some video like the days before, for example, in the places that I haven't shown. I was writing a script or like writing. I was kind of like talking to Claude, and Claude was writing the script, or not a script, but like the history of 125cc bikes. I'm planning on making a video about that, maybe a little bit of a documentary or whatever. So yeah, basically, as I was saying, I'm planning to make maybe a documentary or like a video of the history of the 125cc bikes, and yeah, I was like, let's go get footage or like pictures or videos or whatever of the bikes that are interesting, that could be interesting to have a beer as B-roll or something. And there, yeah, I have a lot of these. Then, of course, I also saw the Audi. The Audis, they had a couple of concepts. They had the usual showroom, which I kind of more or less skipped because I had already seen it like some years ago. I mean, I would have preferred to watch it whole, but they told me that it was closing at 4 for an event that they had or something. I guess disadvantages of going on a normal day. They had some cool cars like this A8 Coupe. That's pretty fire. Some cool concepts like this Nuvolari Quattro, this sport pack, or like shooting brake, Quattro shooting brake, really cool. And yeah, that was the day. Then on the way back, I encountered a couple of classmates, so and they were like talking, so I stood a little bit talking, and one of them showed me his room that he had bought one of these things, a mop. It's like a mop plus vacuum cleaner plus whatever, and he says that it works pretty well, so yeah, I may buy it. Then I went to the park to have a little walk. And yeah, the next day, Friday, I was planning on going to have a kebab at my old high school, you could say, not high school, at my old university. And a classmate wrote to me and he was like, hey, I kind of more or less guessed that he would want to wash clothes or something, but I was like, I'm going to eat and then I can like text you back or something. But then I was like, hey, do you want to come actually, like to have food, like to eat? And he was like, sure. So we went together and had like, well, first I went to the office. I kind of gave my Führerschein, my Triebfahrzeugführerschein, so like my driving license for trains, which I have one, kind of crazy. And yeah, I don't know. And then like printed some things, and then we went to have to eat, and then we came back and ate an ice cream or something. So it was like a nice morning. Then on the afternoon, I went to record the video that I have pending that I'm going to upload. I think it's uploaded. It should be uploaded already. So maybe I could also like afterwards write the description details or whatever. But yeah, I guess, and well, you guys will see the video, I guess. But these were the pictures I took with this light. I mean, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but looking kind of pretty. Just the lighting, I guess. The outfit is not something incredible, to be honest. The outfit was like pretty trash. But then I'm trying to, I guess. I'm trying things. These shoes were the shoes I wore like last year as well. These boots are, for example, new. I didn't have them last year. Then Saturday, work day. So probably I went to bed super late. So I woke up relatively late also and ate some food quickly. And yeah, I guess I had a shift Saturday 19, and this day I basically stayed the whole day, I think. Saturday. Yeah, I stayed the whole day, but we had like, instead of like the more or less busy day that it was, like basically these two after the pause were not. Sorry, these two shortly before the pause, they were not. They had been cancelled because there were problems like some station over there. So I went home, I ate dinner, and then went back. And these are some pictures that I took today. But you can guess. Then the next day, Sunday, it was like, oh, that day, by the way, was S2. It would be a little bit of S5, but because there was no S5 and they got cancelled, then I didn't do anything. So, and I stood at home and just did S2 that whole day. Stop is a little bit strange, by the way. It's like this. So I think this goes covered a little bit like this, but I don't know, like to which height or whatever. If it does like some like this, or if it should be like flatter, or if it should be like this actually, like some, I don't know. Then it was yesterday. Yesterday I basically didn't do anything. I mean, I did do something. I went to the store, I bought some clothes. I have a lot of pictures of the clothes that I bought because they were on sale. And today I went and bought more clothes, including this top, for example, and because they were also on sale. So between 2 days, these 2 days, I've spent like 50 euros, basically €50, but I got like a relatively big amount of clothes. I got like really like more than 10 items or some more around 10 items. The thing is, I'm not going to wear like several of them because they're like, well, I can say like dresses. So I'm obviously not going to wear like dresses or something, but with the way I sound and all this, I guess they're kind of like aspirational stuff or something. But yeah, I guess that's what's going on. That's what I did yesterday, and what I did today was also the same, like buying some clothes and so on. Small tag that was like here inside for some reason. And yeah, that was basically the week. Today I just did the same thing. Yesterday I went to bed, by the way, at 8 a.m. So I guess I could have like tons of things to say, but I forgot. Like when I stay at home and I'm on the PC, I don't exactly know what I did, so I couldn't say. Maybe I could check my history, but probably like some YouTube videos or something. I don't know. 8 a.m. Some YouTube videos, some Reddit stuff, some. Oh yeah, I was discussing economics actually. Oh, true. And I was looking at card editing speedrun videos. Those are interesting. I want to create a video with my Clio, Renault Clio. So yeah, I was thinking of that. And yeah, I don't know. That's basically some of what I did. Then a lot of Twitter. For example, from 4 to 5, I don't know what I did. I haven't clicked on a video. I guess maybe I was on the phone, or maybe I showered. I don't know. Maybe I went to brush my teeth or something. Kind of Twitter. So probably some on my phone also that I don't have. And yeah, sorry, I don't know. I was in my head thinking about, I guess, daydreaming or something like this. So yeah, I think we can go back to the video, to the topic. Well, not back. I think we can start talking about this topic that I was thinking of. Thinking utopically. What do I think I would happen, right? If I was living in utopia or something, like what do I think utopia would look like? And for this, maybe we can go and look a little bit of like ChatGPT or whatever. In my case, Claude, of course. Claude. And be like, I'm going to show it in Spanish actually, or something like this maybe, so you can see what I'm typing into Claude. This is a chat that I pasted some Milei talk. Milei spoke at some Milei, how is it called? Javier Milei, president of Argentina, kind of like this libertarian type guy. He was doing some things in like Israel, and my friends were discussing it on the group chat. So, and one of them pasted a link of because he's ridiculous, right? So he started obviously this thing like singing some like ridiculous song or whatever, right? But then he started speaking, right, in his classic, very classic, like dogmatic style of like hard libertarianism and like Austrian economics and so on. So because he's like honoris causa doctorate or whatever, he received it then. So I pasted this thing into here to kind of like dive deeper a little bit into the arguments and so on to like understand, because I'm not like a libertarian, I'm not anything, right? So, but I'm skeptical of like libertarianism or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I want to dig into like where these arguments come from, not to debunk or anything like this, right? Rather to like understand what the perspectives are like and like who are the people who disagree with that, who agree, blah blah blah. So that was basically what I was scheming, you could say, or like what I was trying to discuss. So, and I did it in Spanish because the chat, the speech was in Spanish because Javier Milei, Argentinian, right? So, yeah, that's what I was doing. And right now, instead of like continuing, like diving deeper or whatever, as ChatGPT would like to say, or like Claude would like to say, I'm going to say rather than dive deep into this, I want to shift the things. It's like I want to ask it, okay, so what would utopia look like? Would it be like some Georgian paradise or something, or what? And that's what I want to try to get out of it here, right? I guess as to like follow the thread from yesterday. Hello, by the way, how's it going? I'm I have already talked about how my week went, so if you see that I'm talking about my week in the title, I already did that, and now I'm going with the second part of the title of the video, below I guess, which is thinking utopically. So now I'm thinking utopically, right? I'm thinking, what would utopia look like or something? I want to think about that because I want to think what it would look like for myself, right? But first, before this, I want to want to see like what would it look like in general. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I think someone left, but I don't think it's bad to like reiterate what I'm doing every once in a while. So quizás institucionalmente o algo así. Después quiero enfocarlo. ¿Qué sistema considerarías tú utópico? O bueno, no tú solamente, sino como una mezcla de teorías utópicas y tal. No, 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 no. Las utopías realistas disponibles. Pa, 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 pam. No, 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 no. Okay. Hello, hello, how's it going? Right now it's typing into ChatGPT things, the stream, so it's like, it's weird because when people come in, they don't stay, right? They're like, even if I'm talking constantly and I'm explaining what I have been doing, blah, 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 it's like people leave. So I don't know if I should like keep trying with every new person that I see that comes in. I'm like, okay, so here's what I'm doing. I'm thinking utopically. I have already talked about what I've done this week. Now I'm trying to think about like utopia or whatever. First, I want to define kind of utopia, and then I want to define what I personally would do in this so-called utopia. You know? So I'm right now at the utopia definitional process, which was like a continuation of some chat that I had with ChatGPT, well, with Claude yesterday, and I'm kind of like pulling from that thread to like now define utopia or whatever, right? It's like some example of utopia. I don't want to be like the end of the all creator of utopia or like say we definitely have to do this. It's more like to put oneself in kind of a realistic mindset of like, okay, the physical constraints, like for example, need for food, need for rent, need for these things, are kind of like more or less gone. But it's not like paradise, like from Adam and Eve times, where you can like never get fat or like live forever, right? It's not that. It's still in the real world. There are still like limitations because the economy is like what is it exists, right? People still need would work and produce the goods that exist or whatever. It's just that the redistribution of like the riches from like the government downwards is like way more aggressive, right? So it's like big companies are like growth is like cut a little bit, and yeah, that kind of thing, right? Du, 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 dum, du, 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 para este. to grab some water. Hello, how's it going? I'm thinking about utopia. Mhm. da da dum. Da 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 da. Da 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 dum. Da 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 da. Dum dum dum. No 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 no. Hola, hola. Se corta. Aló, aló. Okay, we're back. I'm talking to Claude, by the way.
how have the relationships in the course evolved? So it's 1 year later compared to the video that I will link in the description here up above, and then at the end, in the end cards. And the video was basically evaluating how the relationships were doing at that point in time, like how I felt about the relationships in the course. Now it's a year later, so just to compare how have the relationships evolved and so on. And a big thing is that several people have left the course, right? So the guy I was with most of the time that I talk about in the previous video, he has been let go. He didn't have like a decent enough average to continue with the course and so on, or like, I don't know, there were issues, so he couldn't continue. Then before him, 2 other people, and after him, 1 more. So yeah, that obviously changes the dynamics and changes who is available to have a relationship with, one could say, and so. Then that means kind of that group-wise, there are just the 2 people that I mentioned in the other video who were kind of on their own, right? Those 2 people remain kind of on their own, but as a whole, because we are less, the group has maybe tightened a little bit. And then that means that there's also like the rest of us from the previous group, and then another part of a different group that we got merged with another group of Spanish people, who at that point in time, were just the other class, or another class, that wasn't even in our building and so on. Then they got put in our building, and then we got merged with one part of them who stayed here in Munich, and the other part of that group went to some other place. And basically, also one thing that I mentioned in the other video is that one of these 2 people who were kind of going on their own ways was doing so because, well, kind of they're always have been independent and so on. But also at the very beginning of the course, and I think the reason why I made the video is that there was kind of an incident where one of them apparently had exaggerated, like he had exaggerated and lied and reported him to, kind of snitched on him to like the superiors and so on. And the other people kind of sided, except the guy he was with most of the time, sided with the guy who had been falsely accused of being a bully or whatever. But it turned out that he kind of, even though maybe in that specific context did lie a little bit or exaggerated, like to the extent to which he was a bully and so on, he was kind of spiritually closer to the truth, you could say, that's how I could have put it, because the guy who got accused of that later on, even though at that point in time, a lot of people then sided with him, a lot of us sided with him, then a couple of those left, and well, I was kind of always on my own a little bit, but people left, and I got to see how he was kind of closer, and he had like a lot of messy relationships, and weird ways of acting on those relationships and so on. So that definitely was something interesting to see, and so it kind of turned out, I think, to be a little bit problematic in some ways, you could say that. Then I kind of more or less got used to the situation, and then you could say that for a while it was kind of hard with my more or less improvisating on what kind of happened since that point to today. Then in that point in time, like there was some tension with the guy I was with and some other guy, and the tension kind of like that tension was kind of there until the end, but they were kind of like messing with each other, but in a serious way, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like friendly banter, it was like unfriendly banter. It was kind of like this underlying tension. So when he got kicked out, things kind of like got closer, a little bit closer together between me and the other people, because I was not, I would say like excluded, but I was like less in, like I was a little bit less let in because of him, because they didn't want him around, so they didn't invite me because I was usually with him and so on. So there were kind of those dynamics. At that time, I didn't mind her a lot, but that did happen. Then, So, I guess now I'm more or less getting used to the situation because he was kicked out, so I kind of, then I got close, I got like to get a little bit closer to them, and I got more let in, and I was like kind of, more, I wasn't left alone, or you could say, it was the opposite, I was kind of like more let into things at that time. So, that was interesting to see. Plus, now, very enough, at the very moment of right now, we are kind of in this period where we are like doing in pairs, or in my case now alone, shifts. So we see each other less. So that means that we're kind of like more naturally fragmented. So it feels less like I'm being excluded or whatever, and more like we are actually fragmented because of our timetables and our shifts and so on. So for better or for worse, we are kind of more alone in that way. Or in their case, more in pairs. And the time that where we see each other is kind of like more instrumentally, you could say, because I helped them out with some washing machine, or because they let me go in their car to class, or something like that. But I guess I don't mean it instrumentally in that way, because I would say it's some kind of mutual relationship. And I guess that video, the previous video, I ended saying that unless I felt more included or something, I'd be going on my own way or something. And actually what happened is that I did get included. So I kept in the loop and easily invited to go along and so on. So in that sense, that is good. I don't know what's going on with the Zoom or whatever, or like with focus or I think there's like strange light. And yeah, here I have also noted that I am recording here at Coast Park. Hope that's a little bit more clear, which means that there's a problem because the previous 8 minutes are less clear. And yeah, I'm at Coast Park again. Here I'm alone, but I'm less complaining because of the previous situation. Today, for example, in the previous video, I was at Coast Park and I had lunch here alone. And today, for example, I had lunch with one classmate and it was like pretty easy to coordinate and so on. In the previous video, I complained about punctuality, for example, the unpunctuality. So that there were people that were unpunctual, so I didn't want to be forward and suggest activities or whatever. And right now, it's like, I don't mind suggesting activities because it's more one-on-one, right? If I told this guy, he reached out and said, hey, do you have free time or whatever? And I was like, actually, I don't. I'm going to go somewhere and then I'm going to have lunch alone. I was going to have lunch alone. But I told him, want to come with? And he's like, hey, sure. And he got dressed and we went together. So it was like pretty seamless in that sense. And with the other guys who are more unpunctual or whatever, then I get used to it. When we're doing something together, I'm like, okay, so we're going to start a little bit later. And plus, if they say, okay, at this time, whatever, I'm like, actually, I arrived there a little bit later as well. I become more unpunctual because of that. And I also ended the previous video talking about withholding energy. As in, there is a felt sense of withholding energy or a withheld energy or something like this. And I think that has gone away a little bit because part of what caused this withholding energy at the beginning was kind of this tension between these two guys, this guy who had the problem, who was the accusatory party, but who received the bullying, and the accused part of being a bully. And that was like a big tense energy when those two people were together, we were in class all of the time, versus now where we see each other in a building, and we're actually in separate buildings as well, so it's a very different like type of way. Yeah, I would say that also caused some sewage. Oh, yeah. And regarding this withholding energy, I would say that now it has gone down a little bit, but also say that in this course, in this process, I have withheld energy a lot as well, because, and actually to this guy was good, because he caused a lot of situations where you needed to withhold energy. In my opinion, I needed to withhold energy. For example, he had like some messy relationship with his girlfriend, and we knew, but the person didn't know, so you have to withhold there if you didn't want to escalate the situation right at that moment, when the situation didn't, where it didn't belong. I mean, we didn't belong in that conversation or whatever. So, in that sense, it was kind of like messy. But yeah, that is like my sum up of what's been going on. Not much to say, I guess. How brilliant it has evolved. I have become, I guess, more integrated in the smaller group that has resulted after all of these people left and this kind of banter parties where they have a lot of banter with each other that was kind of unfriendly, like mean-spirited, that went away because they got kicked out or they left. So now we are just very, like, it's way more fragmented in the day-to-day and more included in this fragmentation. Like, so I don't feel that alone. So I would actually feel like I do have like a small community, like 2, 3, 4 people, depends. Like two people who I'm closer with, 2 people who I'm less close with, but live close by, and I can interact in a more or less friendly way or whatever. And then one guy who lives farther away, and that I feel less of or whatever, but I don't know, who I can also hang out with and or whatever, and of whom I'm kind of being informed and caught up with his land or whatever, because he's closer to one of these people. So yeah, that's how it's been. And I'm going to link right over here, over my golden hour face, some the video from last week, from last year, in case you haven't watched it yet, which will be interesting because you kind of then don't understand what's going on. But yeah, I'll still leave it in the end card, and yeah, thank you for watching. Bye-bye. last week, sorry, from last week, from last year, in case you haven't watched it yet, which would be interesting because you kind of then don't understand what's going on. But yeah, I'll still leave it in the end card. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye bye. Community of like two, three, four people. It depends. Like two people with who I'm closer with, two people who I'm less close with, but live close by. I can interact in a more or less friendly way or whatever. And then one guy who lives like farther away and that I see less often or whatever. But I don't know who I can also hang out with and or whatever. And of whom I'm kind of being informed and caught up with his life or whatever because he's closer to one of these people. So yeah, that's how it's been. And I'm going to link right over here over my golden hour face some the videos from last week. Sorry, from last week, from last year, in case you haven't watched it yet, which would be interesting because you kind of then don't understand what's going on. But yeah, I'll still leave it in the end card. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye bye. Some the videos from last week. Sorry, from last week, from last year, in case you haven't watched it. Hello, I think I'm recording using this. Let me try it out.
crazy how if I don't say anything, people stay longer than when I talk. When I talk, people go out earlier. Maybe I'm just so pretty. I was uploading a video to YouTube, by the way, and now I'm tweeting it. But I thought I had found the video, but I didn't. Like I thought I had tweeted the previous video and I was going to quote retweet it and so on, but it didn't happen. So I'm just going to simply tweet it and by the way, there are the stream lags a lot because this internet is trash. So if I do something like play a video while thing is running, it will cut down the bitrate of the stream and yeah. For example, now there's high chances of buffering. Okay. Hi, by the way. Bye, by the way.
How have the relationships in the course evolved?
I need to get my phone. it all. Bro, what? Holy shit. Finally. Yo.
It's a new dawn, it's a new day.
Okay, I'm ending stream now. Bye. Thank you for watching. No, thank you for watching. Maybe thank you for watching if someone in the future does.